Have you ever found yourself gripping the steering wheel just a little tighter than you used to? Maybe the street signs look a little fuzzier at night, or your reaction time feels just a second slower when a child darts into the road. You're not alone. A lot of people in their 70s and beyond start to notice little changes behind the wheel. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of the journey of getting older. And believe it or not, that journey doesn't have to mean giving up your keys right away. It just means being smart, staying safe, and knowing when it might be time to make a few adjustments. Driving is more than just getting from point A to point B. It's about freedom, independence, and staying connected to the world around you. For many of us, it's been a lifelong habit, a source of pride even. After all, how many road trips, grocery runs, and late-night drives to calm a crying baby have you made over the years? But as we age, our bodies and our minds go through natural changes. And the truth is, those changes can affect how we drive. Now, this isn't about scaring anyone. It's about having an honest conversation, one that too many people avoid, until something serious happens. The good news is there are clear signs to watch out for, and if you do notice them, there are also steps you can take, practical, empowering steps to stay safe and in control of your choices. So, let's dive in together. Today, we're going to talk about 4 important signs that it might be time to reassess your driving and what you can do next if any of them sound familiar. No judgment, just support, and a whole lot of wisdom from someone who knows the road well. Let's start with something that might seem small but is actually quite telling. Have you ever caught yourself missing a stop sign? Not blowing through it recklessly but simply not noticing it until the last second? Or maybe you turned the wrong way down a one-way street, even though you've driven that road 100 times before. If things like that have happened once or twice, they might not seem like a big deal. But if they're happening more often, it's worth paying attention. This first sign is about memory and focus. As we get older, our short-term memory can become a little less reliable. We might lose track of directions, forget where we parked, or feel overwhelmed in heavy traffic. It's not about intelligence. It's about the brain getting a little slower to process everything that's happening around you. Picture this. You're driving through a busy intersection. There are honking horns, flashing lights, people crossing the street, and your brain is trying to juggle all of it. When we were younger, we did that without thinking. But now, multitasking behind the wheel might feel more like a mental workout. And when focus slips, even for a moment, the risk goes up. So, what can you do? Well, first, be honest with yourself. If you've had a few near misses lately or felt confused while driving familiar routes, talk to your doctor. They can help assess whether it's a temporary issue, like medication side effects or stress, or something that needs a closer look. You can also consider using GPS, even for places you know well. It's not a crutch, it's a tool. And sometimes, knowing you have that calm voice guiding you can lower stress and help you stay focused. Let's talk about another sign, one that often shows up quietly: physical discomfort or stiffness while driving. Maybe your neck doesn't turn as easily as it used to, making it hard to check your blind spots, or your hips ache after a long drive and you're shifting around in your seat just to get comfortable. Mobility matters more than we give it credit. 4. Good driving isn't just about what we see and think. It's about how quickly we can move. If your knee is stiff, it might take you a second longer to switch from the gas to the brake. If your shoulder is tight, adjusting the rearview mirror might become a hassle you don't bother with anymore. These little things add up. They're not signs of weakness. They're signs of a body that's been working hard for many years. And there are ways to adapt. Start by looking at your car itself. There are plenty of adjustments you can make. A seat cushion to improve posture, larger mirrors for better visibility, or even adding blind spot sensors if your car doesn't have them. A visit to a physical therapist or occupational therapist can also help you improve your range of motion and feel more confident in your movements. And if driving longer distances leaves you feeling drained, think about changing your habits, not giving them up. Drive during daylight, stick to familiar routes, and take more breaks. That's not giving in to age, it's driving smart. It's taking control of your safety without sacrificing your independence. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't want to admit, but it's so common: feeling nervous or anxious behind the wheel, especially in certain situations. Maybe you avoid highways now, or you don't like driving at night, in the rain, or when traffic is heavy. You might even notice that you turn down invitations if they involve a drive that feels just a little too stressful. That anxiety is your mind trying to protect you, but sometimes it can become a barrier. The key is figuring out where the line is between reasonable caution and growing fear that's affecting your life. So, how do you handle it? First, remember that it's okay to adjust your driving to match what feels safe. There's no shame in saying, "I'm better off driving during the day." That's smart. But if you find that your world is getting smaller and smaller because you're afraid to drive at all, that's when it's time to explore options. You could take a defensive driving refresher course designed for seniors. Many of them help rebuild confidence, and some even come with insurance discounts. You'll get to brush up on road rules, learn new techniques, and talk with others who are in the same boat. Just knowing you're not alone can make a huge difference. And let's not forget the power of conversation. Talk to your loved ones. Tell them how you're feeling. They might offer to ride along or help plan routes with fewer turns or traffic signals. You're not losing independence by leaning on others now and then. You're preserving it by making thoughtful choices. Now that we've explored some of these early signs, changes in focus, physical comfort, and even emotional readiness behind the wheel, let's keep going and talk about the next important thing that might signal it's time for a change that you might not even notice at first, but one that can quietly affect everything about how you drive. I'm talking about vision changes, especially when it comes to driving at night. It might start with something as simple as a glare, from headlights that seems blinding, or street signs that used to be crystal clear now looking fuzzy or washed out in the dark. Maybe you've noticed halos around lights, or you squint more often, even with glasses. You might chalk it up to being tired or having a long day, but more often than not, your eyes are just doing what aging eyes do. They're changing, and this is perfectly normal. Our pupils get smaller as we get older, which means they let in less light. That's why driving at night starts to feel like trying to read in a dim room. Add in slower eye adjustments and possible early cataracts, and you've got a recipe for frustration, or worse, danger. But don't worry, this isn't a turn in your keys moment. It's a reminder to prioritize your eyesight just like you do your overall health. Start by scheduling regular eye exams. Yes, even if your prescription hasn't changed in years. Eye conditions like cataracts, macular degeneration, and glaucoma can sneak up on you, but early detection makes a huge difference. You might also want to talk to your eye doctor about specialized lenses that reduce glare or help with night driving. Something as simple as switching your glasses could instantly improve your confidence behind the wheel. And remember, there's no harm in setting some boundaries for yourself. If night driving feels too risky, plan errands and appointments during the day. A well-lit road is easier on the eyes, and your comfort behind the wheel matters more than sticking to a routine out of habit. Sometimes we push ourselves to prove we're still the same as we were at 50. But strength doesn't mean pretending nothing has changed. It means adapting with wisdom and giving yourself permission to make choices that keep you safe. Now, let's talk about something that might come from the outside rather than within, and that's concern from family or friends. This one can feel a little delicate. Maybe your daughter hesitated before accepting a ride, or your neighbor offered to drive you to the store even though you didn't ask. These moments can sting. They might feel like subtle hints or even criticisms, and it's easy to get defensive. After all, you've been driving for decades. you've probably never had a serious accident. So, what's changed? Well, sometimes the people who care about us notice things we don't, or don't want to admit. They might have seen you drift a little out of your lane, take a wrong turn, or look a bit flustered in a parking lot. Their concerns aren't meant to take your independence away. More often than not, they're an act of love. And even though it's hard to hear, it might be worth listening. So, how do you handle it when someone says, "Hey, I've been worried about your driving"? First, take a breath. Resist the urge to respond with anger or denial. Instead, ask them what they've noticed. Get specific. Was it one moment or a pattern? Listen without judgment, even if it feels uncomfortable. You can also ask to take a drive with them and get their honest feedback. Or, better yet, suggest an evaluation with a professional, someone objective, like a driver rehabilitation specialist or occupational therapist. These evaluations aren't pass-fail tests. They're personalized assessments that help you understand your strengths and where you might need support. And the best part? Many of them can offer strategies, vehicle adaptations, and even driving. Refresher courses tailored just for you. Taking this step isn't giving up, it's taking charge. It's saying, "I want to stay independent and I want to do it safely." That's powerful. And it might even ease your family's mind, giving everyone more confidence moving forward. Now, here's something a lot of people overlook, but it has a big impact: how medications affect your driving. It's so easy to miss because we get used to taking certain pills every day, blood pressure meds, something for cholesterol, maybe a sleep aid or something for joint pain. But even if you've been on the same dose for years, your body can react differently as you age. Some medications can make you drowsy, slow your reaction time, blur your vision, or affect your balance. And when you combine that with the natural changes we've already talked about, like slower reflexes or vision issues, it can quietly raise the risk when you're behind the wheel. If you've ever felt foggy or extra tired while driving, or even just a little off, it might be worth asking your doctor or pharmacist for a medication review. Bring a full list of everything you're taking, even over-the-counter supplements and vitamins. Sometimes it's not just one medication, but the way multiple ones interact that causes problems. The good news is, there are often alternatives or adjustments that can help. You might be able to take a medication at a different time of day, switch to a different type, or reduce the dose slightly. The key is to have that conversation. Don't wait until something scary happens on the road to take a closer look. Now, all of this might feel like a lot to think about. You might be wondering, does this mean I shouldn't be driving anymore? Not necessarily. The point of this, of recognizing the signs and making thoughtful changes, is to help you keep driving longer, not shorter. But to do that, we've got to be honest with ourselves, make adjustments where needed, and never stop learning. There's so much strength in that. There's power in saying, I can change, I can adapt, and I can take care of myself. Because the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to protect your freedom. The freedom to get to your favorite coffee shop, to surprise your grandkids with a visit, or to take that peaceful afternoon drive down a country road with the windows down. And if one day you decide that driving doesn't feel right anymore, that decision can be just as powerful. But for now, the more you know, the more confident you can feel behind the wheel. Let's keep going and explore what some of your next steps might look like if you've noticed any of these signs, because noticing the signs is only the beginning. What matters most is what you do next. And the beautiful part is, you've got options. This stage of life isn't about losing independence, it's about taking the wheel with a little more wisdom, a bit more care, and a whole lot of confidence that you're making the best choices for yourself. Let's start with something simple but powerful: self-assessment. Sometimes the clearest answers come from tuning into your own experiences. Take a moment, maybe after your next drive, and reflect. Did I feel alert and in control? Was I able to react quickly if something unexpected happened? Did I struggle with parking, turning, or seeing signs clearly? These aren't questions meant to scare you. They're meant to empower you. You know yourself better than anyone. So, if something felt off, pay attention to that inner voice. Maybe you felt tired sooner than usual, or needed to really focus harder than you used to. That's not failure. That's feedback. And feedback is a gift. It's your body and mind saying, "Hey, we might need to adjust the plan a little." And that's okay. There are even simple tools and checklists available through senior driving programs or organizations like AARP that can help you evaluate your current abilities. It's not about passing or failing. It's about being proactive. Just like you check your tires or change your oil, you can check in on you. But what if, after all of this, you realize it might be time to step back from driving, whether that means cutting back or stopping altogether? That's one of the toughest decisions anyone can face, especially if driving has always been tied to your independence. But here's the truth. Giving up the driver's seat doesn't mean giving up your freedom. It just means redefining how you stay active, connected, and in control. Think of it this way. It's not about what you're losing. It's about what you're protecting. Your safety, the safety of others, your peace of mind. And once you make that decision, on your own terms, it can be incredibly liberating. So, what are your options if you decide to cut back or stop driving altogether? You've got more choices than you might think. Today's world is more connected than ever, and while transportation may look different than it did 20 or 30 years ago, the core idea is the same. Getting where you need to go, when you want to go, with dignity and ease. First, let's talk about rides from family and friends. You might feel hesitant to ask, worried you'll be a burden. But think about how many times you've driven someone else over the years. Kids, neighbors, coworkers. Letting someone help you now isn't taking, it's sharing. And more often than not, your loved ones will appreciate the chance to support you. You can also plan together. Maybe your daughter does the grocery run on Saturdays anyway. Ask to tag along. Maybe your friend goes to the same church service. Carpooling can be as easy as one quick call. Sometimes it's just about being willing to ask. Then there are local transportation services designed specifically for seniors. Many communities offer low-cost or free shuttle services to medical appointments, shopping centers, or community centers. Some areas even have volunteer driver programs, people who genuinely enjoy helping others get around. If you're not sure what's available near you, your local senior center or area agency on aging can point you in the right direction. And let's not overlook ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft. You might be thinking, that's for the younger crowd, but more and more seniors are using them every day. If you have a smartphone, it's just a couple of taps, and if you're not quite comfortable with the tech, ask a family member to help set it up. You can even request a ride in advance and choose quiet drivers or specific preferences. Many services now offer options for riders who need a bit more time or assistance getting in and out. Some people also find it helpful to create a weekly routine to stay engaged. Plan certain days for errands, outings, or appointments, and group tasks together. That way, you're not scrambling last minute or feeling stuck. Structure gives you something to look forward to and helps you stay connected with the world around you. And let's not forget the emotional side of this change. It's perfectly normal to grieve the loss of driving. That grief is real, and it's okay to feel it. Driving has probably been part of your identity for decades. You might associate it with freedom, youth, spontaneity. But stepping away doesn't take those things from you. If anything, it gives you the chance to experience them in new ways. Think of it like this. It's not about stopping. It's about rerouting. Like when the GPS says, recalculating. You're still going forward, just on a different road, and that road can be beautiful. Maybe it's a little slower. Maybe it has more stops along the way. but it can still take you to all the places that matter, the people you love, the activities you enjoy, the life you want to live. It's not the vehicle that defines your independence. It's your attitude, your spirit, and your ability to adapt. So whether you're still driving confidently, starting to make adjustments, or thinking about stepping back, know this: you are not alone. Thousands of people are walking this path right alongside you, making decisions that honor both their freedom and their safety. And if today's conversation sparked something in you, maybe a memory, a question, or even a new sense of direction, I hope you'll keep exploring, keep learning, keep listening to yourself. This stage of life is full of choices, powerful choices, and with the right information and support, you can make those choices with courage and clarity. If you've ever made a tough driving decision, or if you're facing one right now, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. You never know who you might help by sharing your experience. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. We talk about everything that matters most after 60, from health to happiness, to navigating life's changes with grace and strength. Here's to staying safe, staying smart, and staying you, no matter where the road takes you next.